Hello, everyone. It's Gaga at Gaga's Farmhouse, and I am in the actual farmhouse today, as you can see. And as you can also see, I've changed out my chalkboard to say spring. Now, that may be premature, but I'm going to go with it because we have been known to get snowstorms in April, but that's an anomaly, and they don't last that long. So I'm going to go with spring. I'm going to also go with my chalkboard, and I know that there's decorators or whoever influencers out there that are telling me the chalkboard is passé. I don't care. I love my chalkboard, so I'm keeping it. So today we're going to talk about something called age staring back at you, and it's a thing. So Bonnie Raitt, the singer, songwriter, Bonnie Raitt, who I love, talks about this in her song Nick of Time. That's a great song. Go listen to it because boy, she nails it all down as far as reality and what's going on. And it's talking about time slipping away from you and opportunities slipping away from you, and you better take advantage of opportunities when you have them. And it does talk about getting old. So there's a line that says, oh, by the way, I'm referring to my composition book. Talking about getting old, and it says, it's pretty hard to take when it's staring back at you. Think about that for a minute. It's true in one sense, but in another sense, it's not. It can be a little confusing because when I was younger, I had a friend and mentor who was older than me. She was more like my mother's age, and she told me one day, when I look in the mirror, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I said, why? And she goes, because I look in the mirror and what I see this, but that's not how I feel inside. I still feel very young inside. And I didn't quite understand what she was talking about, but now that I'm there, yeah, I understand it. I feel very young inside. And then I look at this and, let's see. I don't know. Ooh, that looks kind of creepy. I'll just go with this. I earned all this anyway. So I had this play out the other day when I was at Walmart. And I only go in when I have enough energy to do the walking around. And when I walk around, I hope to find a cart in the parking lot because that's my walker. That's my rollator, okay? I may reach a point where I have to have an actual rollator that has a seat so I can sit down and rest a little bit as I'm shopping. But right now, I'm okay with the cart. So I'm walking around Walmart, and I told you before about elderly people being invisible. And they just are. You can see it in action. So there was a woman that was on one of those motorized go-kart, shopping cart things. And that takes you you're down at the seated level. So people are looking right over you. And they only notice you if you're a bad go-kart driver and you're about to run them over. But I noticed her, and she was... Another thing that you almost disappeared, she was just gray. Gray hair, pale skin, pale clothing, and that's not me. I'm not going to disappear that way. I like to wear, stuff like this. You ain't going to miss me. And the glasses, these are new. You like them? And she was in this, like, below sea level. She's just in this other atmosphere down here. And then I walked past another woman who, did she have I think she had I think she just had a cart, but she had oxygen. So you could see the little things in her nose, and her oxygen cart oxygen tank was in the cart. Most people don't even notice it. But when you're my age, you're looking at it because this is your possible future. I'm aware of that, and I have to find a way to be okay with that because it's getting to the point, you know, I have COPD and you hear me coughing and everything. Here I go right here. So if I'm going to need oxygen just to get around, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to be proud. And that's not even pride. I don't know what that is if you don't use what's available to you to order operate in life. So anyway, those are two examples of the future staring back at you. And there are others. And okay, Gen Xers and millennials and whoever, you know, down there or up there or whatever, you might want to tune out because you might want to not know about this until you're 50. My son is a Gen Xer, and I would keep it from him, but it's useless because he's a nurse, and so he knows it's part of his job that he knows about this stuff. So here we go. And let me know how many of you recognize this, okay? Okay. I believe this is 1 gallon. And it comes with a lemon flavor packet. Oh, yay, folks. Okay. Gen Xers, if you're still here and you can't identify it, I will identify it for you. It's a prep kit. Lemon flavored prep kit for a colonoscopy. Now this is not mine. I'm real familiar with this because I've had some in the past, and I had even one that was like an emergency one. But think about this. So before your test, the night before you test, you have to do this prep to prepare your system for the doctor to do the test. Now, it says on here, take on an empty stomach. Oh, yikes. Dissolve in water before taking. So you add water to this container, and it's 4,000 milliliter. It's a gallon. And you have to drink this whole thing. Now, I have never drank a gallon of anything in one day in my life. That just doesn't happen. And it says, fill to the line. Well, as you can see, there's a line right here. And you're thinking, okay. Oh no, folks. The fill line is up here. So you're going to be drinking this whole gallon of this solution that's made with the salty stuff in the bottom. It's the texture of salt, and you fill it up and you shake it and you drink it. And I mean, so I think why they do this is if you can do this prep, then the colonoscopy is nothing. Holy crap, you know, you're asleep anyway, you don't know. And he's examining, and if you saw the contraption on the side table that he's going to you know, that might give you a shock. But this is the terror of the whole thing, is this. So this is my husband's. He just did one last month. He's got to do another one, and that's like, whoa. That's like really, you got to do some mental gymnastics to get up for 2 of these, okay? So let me know, do you see old age staring back at you, and how do you handle it? What do you do about it? I mean, I just have an attitude that, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing, you better find a way to deal with it, or you're going to be stinking miserable. So I'm just glad I don't have to do this one, and I will be his driver. You have to have a driver. There's no way if you're under anesthetic that you can drive afterwards. So I'm his driver. My phone, of course, will go to the hospital with me, and maybe I'll see something at the hospital to do a short about, because I people watch, so there's plenty of ideas for shorts. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. This is the old age version, the colonoscopy version. And join me again next time. It's Gaga. Bye.